Welcome back. Dave Wood was 30 years old when he was traveling in Southern California and saw a model railroad running around the ceiling of a bakery. He was hooked, and a 30-year love affair with model trains was underway. Eventually, the model train set around his Christmas tree exploded into what you're about to see in this edition of Lance's Journal. Hi, Lance.
That's right, Owen. Dave Wood of Lincoln lives two very wonderfully, distinctly separate lives. By day, he's a dentist on O Street. But by night and weekend, Dave is the creator, conductor, and engineer of his very own personal backyard railroad. Dave Wood established the Timberline and San Juan Railroad nearly a decade ago.
I always say it was built in '04.
Whenever Dr. Dave is railroading in his backyard, he's on a Rocky Mountain high.
I exclusively model anything that ran in Colorado from about 1881 all the way up to the 1950s. It's 1/22.5 scale.
Dr. Dave has always enjoyed touring New Mexico and Colorado via tourist trains. That's why he modeled the scenic vistas behind his house after his beloved Rocky Mountains.
The scenery is just incredible. You know, you can go to Europe to see the Alps, but we've got our own Alps in southern Colorado.
And Dave has southern Colorado in his backyard.
This is about 40 tons of Colorado moss rock.
Dave designed the layout himself.
I wanted to create a bunch of curves with just maybe a couple of straightaways so the train had an illusion of winding through the mountains. We brought in several truckloads of black dirt and clay, packed it all in so it would stay in place.
One of the highlights of Dave's incredible backyard garden railway is the fictitious town of Animas, Colorado, set high in the San Juan Mountains.
Animas is just a little mountain town.
And it's also a good example of Dave's colorful imagination.
It doesn't have very many people. Some of them are pretty shady.
Dr. Dave does delight in the details.
It's got a little sheriff right here that looks like he's probably waiting for a passenger train that might have a malfeasance of some type on board.
This 60-year-old dentist has great memories of his triplets playing on his mini man-made mountain.
The girls used to bring their briar horses, you know, the little ponies and everything, and they'd have big adventures and stories up here in the mountains and everything with them. So it's been a lot of fun.
And a great way to relax.
I can come here after work and sit in the back, put my feet up, and just the sound of the chugging and the steam and everything and the waterfall will just put you into a total alpha mode. You know, I can even doze off, you know, because it's very relaxing, at least for me. And if you're one of Dave's patients, you better be careful not to fall asleep out in his waiting room, because Dr. Dave loves model trains so much, he built one in the waiting room of his dentist office. And Owen, shooting this story, it really got me thinking about taking one of those tourist trains out in New Mexico and Colorado. They had a lot to do with the inspiration of this incredible Dr. Wood amazing backyard railroad. Can you believe the detail in there?
Well, it doesn't surprise me that he's a dentist, because you have to have meticulous attention to detail.
Absolutely, and he loves to come back from the office and kick it out in the backyard and take a ride on the railroad yard.
Wonderful story. Lance, thank you.
Yep.
Up next, we will update your forecast.